Why buy your next vehicle from Community Motors of Mason City?
Great service from 3 locations: Community on Monroe, Community Motors Westside, and Mason City Ford. 10 new franchises and hundreds of vehicles to give you more choices. Plus, Community offers an exclusive 3-3 warranty on pre-owned vehicles and 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty on new. Need more reasons why? Stop or visit CommunityAutoGroup.com.
Because nobody beats a community deal, nobody.
It's actually kind of way over there in that far corner with the 2 walking paths. If anybody's familiar with the 2.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll just kind of, can I grab one of these? Yeah. Anyway, if you look at them being, for lack of a better, if you look at them as being like this, okay, now we'll get rid of this one. The hill itself would be angled about like this angle, okay? They would push the dirt up to create the hill. And then when you get, so probably 50 feet from the trail itself, the hill actually starts, and then it cups up. So it's, imagine trying to walk up this wall. If you were sledding, and then you're going downhill here, and then you're trying to go back uphill. So gravity itself stops you about 50 feet in front of any of the trails. It's just physics that way. As far as, because I went out here with Mrs. Gert, and she examined everything, and she was very meticulous, which I don't blame her a bit, because the Gert family has spent a lot of money in the park. It's a beautiful park. The last time I was here was probably when my son was playing Little League Baseball, and the only home run he ever hit was in this park over the fence. And that was probably 20-some years ago. Okay. The light itself would be a single pole, and I work with Crescent Electric, and that would be at the far end. The light itself would, there are 2 porch lights. Actually, they'll be tilted. The maximum coverage is 400 feet. Okay. It's the one post that's by the trunk house down there. That's over 1,000 feet to where that post would be. Then you have at least another 150 feet of the city park before you get to your lot lines. The lights themselves would probably be on till, I'm assuming, during the weekday, probably 8 o'clock at night. They would be on a timer. Flexible there. As far as weekends, we think a little bit later. But they're not going to be on until 2 in the morning. They're not going to be on until midnight. We're thinking maybe 9 or 10 on the weekends. And only, it only happens when it snows. The hill itself, after it gets graded up, will be reseeded, probably with oats to get a temporary base, and then established with prairie grass. So actually, it'll be prettier than it is now. There's just pretty much weeds in there now, if you want to be, it's not manicured, but it'd be prairie grass. So, and then with prairie grass, you mow it or burn it every year. That's no different than in Hayden Prairie over by Lime Springs, Iowa, or anywhere. That's how prairie grass, because what happens is, it's a quick burn, and the seeds fall, and that's how they regenerate themselves. If you've ever been to, has anybody ever been to a prairie grass area? They're beautiful. If you go over between here and Clear Lake, you can kind of see on the divider now what they've done over there. Kind of looks pretty nice. So that's the thoughts. The pole will be just a regular, so it's not going to be anything normal. Wouldn't be any higher than a normal street light pole. Be 2 quartz lights attached and tilted down. So it's not like, probably from here, I don't even know if you could see them from here at night because of the angle and that. Yes, sir.
This is probably getting ahead, but what's the lighting going to get from here to there?
There will be no lighting. We're not going to disturb the neighborhood. It'll be That will be it.
Well, I'm wondering about the sledders getting out there and back. I mean,
That
it's
kind
like
of
at
night.
5 at night.
Right, and they can get back, you know, they can choose, because basically a lot of your sledders are going to be your neighborhood kids, I'm thinking. The far entrance down there to the park, that will be set up so no vehicles can drive through there. Work with Bill and Bob from the city and Mrs. Gert. No vehicles whatsoever are going to be able to access. So nobody's going to be able to drop their kid off like it's a Game Boy session and say, oh, here, now slide down the hill. No. It's designed for exercise, and I've tried to look at everything as far as preserving the integrity of the park, both from an aesthetic and a structural standpoint, by moving the dirt up from the bottom to the top. That is the most feasible way. It also disturbs the least amount of the park. The equivalent would be to bring in 200 truckloads of dirt, and that isn't going to happen. We're just not going to do that. You know, that would totally destroy the character and also the trails. And we do not want to do anything to disturb the trails. The one beauty of the park is the city maintains the trails in the wintertime.
So you're saying that the hill will be south of that southmost walking trail?
No, it will be, as that south walking trail, it'll be right on at the top. There's one tree back there when you walk. Does everybody walk through there? There's one somewhat larger tree back there on that south, you know, in the two. There's one larger tree. It'll be in that area there. So it'll go down here.
So it won't cross the trails at all?
No, it's physically impossible. If you can run up that wall right there, your sled could go up the hill. That's because the grade is like this when you get down there. You've all walked there. You see that it's a swale. Well, we're going to come in about 50 feet and go up. So that swale will be there. So it's physically impossible for a sled to go up that. You know, I had Scott Sweet from WHKS Engineering physically came out here, walked it, did all the research, because I know a little bit about a lot of things and nothing about most things, so I wanted to get people who were very knowledgeable. Doug Anderson from Crescent Electric did the actual lighting study for me. You know, he said, here's what you need. This, he says, because he takes his kids out here sledding. He says, this is all you need. He says, 2 lights. And he says they're quartz and they can be tilted down so that people, you know, they're not going to be, he said there would be no light pollution. So if, let's see, you would probably have to stand on your roofs with binoculars to see the lights. I don't think too many people want to stand on the roofs in the wintertime with a pair of binoculars to see the lights. But that's how far, because those lights are going to angle down. Think of it, there's not one city dollar that's going to be used to grade, run the electricity, put the pole in, attach the lights whatsoever. No, I'm raising all that money on my own. Yes, sir.
I'm wondering about the size of the hill. Is that going to be like the one at East Park, or like half the size, or what?
It will be about twice as long.
How about the width of it?
It'll be wider too. The one of these park is pretty much about the width of from that wall to there, realistically. So it's going to be a little bit wider. So that's a safety issue. The slope, Scott Sweet researched sledding hills across the country, and it's got a 5-to-1 slope. One of these parks has got too big of a slope. You come sailing down there, I don't know, I'm probably the old man in the crowd here, but I can remember years ago when they had the steel sleds. Anybody remember steel runner sleds? Anybody ever go up to East Park and get hit in the legs with those? No. I've got a few painful experiences. I didn't move very fast, I guess. But this will be a lot safer, and you don't have to worry about somebody running into the river up there too. But it's not going to be a 100-foot hill height-wise that's going to attract everybody from the entire Northern Iowa area. It's going to be a nice sledding hill. Anybody here remember Taylor Hill? Yeah. Okay.
Where are they supposed to be parking?
You'll just park right in.
What's going to keep them from park on the street down there?
They can park on the street. That's a city street. Right?
Yeah, right.
It's no different than if anybody else wants to use the park.
People don't park to use the park.
Pardon me?
The people don't park down there to use the
Yeah.
park. That's
Yeah.
all residential.
Yeah.
Whereas
It's not like there's going to be 200 cars coming here. You know, when you go to East Park, they park on the street or they park up there. There's not a great deal of parking at East Park either.
A lot of you saw me. I came a couple weeks ago around to the neighborhood, knocked on the doors here on 22nd Street. I did turn in the sheet with your names and signatures and concerns to the park board. Ozzy's worked very, very hard on this. You have. You've put a lot of research into this and worked very hard on it. I've held a couple conversations with you. He emailed me the plans and I shared that with some of you guys. I think a lot of the lights and the people that patron the park that don't necessarily live here, but they patron it, their concerns is the nature part of it up there. And I think as we left it at the park board, they were going to contact you.
I have been in contact
and supposedly set up a meeting with you and them or myself and a few others that were concerned and maybe see what we can come up with.
I talked with Ray.
Yeah. We want to work with Ozzy and the community to make sure it's all, that everybody is happy, that nobody gets offended or upset about anything. So.